cry for help from Ken. He said, listen.
So, let's do this then. Why don't you tell me about Matthew and The Office?
Ooh.
Because this is just like an interesting little nook of the internet that I think is just a funny story for people out there, honestly.
And it's potentially a nominee, or at the very least a perfect example of a clout route of the year type situation.
I love it.
Because here is a man who seemingly out of nowhere would take the hearts of many of an Office fan. Now, I'll have to back up and tell the story from the beginning. As many of you know, The Office is a beloved show on television. Many people who watch it not only like it, but watch it repeatedly. We were just making cult jokes a minute ago.
Yeah, that is the weird thing about The Office in particular, among all things, is like, I have noticed, I have friends, and, I just know people that it's such their binge go-to.
Yep.
Over and over again. It's The Office over and over again. And I know that kind of changed for a lot of people once, what did they go, exclusive to like Peacock now or something? So it's different now. I think that kind of messed up that whole, they could have kept the ball rolling there if they just would have let it Netflix. But anyways, aside from that, something about The Office. People are just like obsessed. And there's like 10 podcasts now about The Office too. We might as well start an Office podcast.
We might as well, yes.
As the Clout Route.
The Clout Route.
Office podcast.
Clout Route does The Office.
Yeah, right?
And this actually is a tale of maybe the 11th The Office podcast. Right. And how it came to be.
Honestly, who does? Of The Office, don't you know, like, 2 or 3 off the top of your head that do Office podcasts?
Yeah, the Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey.
They definitely do one.
Pam and Angela from The Office. I believe it's called The Office Ladies. And it's basically, it's basically a behind the scenes. I mean, I've never listened to it, but as far as I understand it, they just talk about their point of view behind the scenes, beginning at season 1, episode 1, work their way through.
Right.
Brian Baumgartner, who is Kevin Malone, also has one. Yeah.
Baldo.
Ashton Kutcher has another one, and I'm sure there are more.
Ashton Kutcher?
He calls them. Oh. See, and there is where we're getting into it, because
you got me.
Because Office fans, it's never have you watched The Office. It's always, do you watch The Office?
Okay.
There is a huge community of just repeating Office quotes and making memes and resharing the same jokes, because it's a community of people who watch the same show hundreds of times. I know this because I'm one of them. So I am in a few different Facebook and Reddit groups, subreddits, Facebook groups, where I see Office-related content, Office-related memes. So one of these Facebook groups was called Creed Thoughts. Actually, in fact, is still called Creed Thoughts. I don't know why I put it in memoriam like that.
But Creed is the
for those of you who don't know, it is this man, Creed Bratton, played by Creed Bratton of The Grassroots, and also The Office. That's it. I don't know what else he's done.
He looks crazy.
He is crazy. That's why he has a group themed after him, because Creed Thoughts is the name of a blog. So there's an inside joke. Creed is the crazy old man, and he thinks he has a blog, but the reality is that the temp set him up with a Word doc and put a fake URL at the top of the Word doc. And Creed thinks he's out there sending out his blog to the world. So the idea is that this is this. So people who are in a group called Creed Thoughts, very deeply knowledgeable of The Office, and they are there to shitpost and make stupid memes about the group. However, they are occasionally infiltrated on accident by fans of a different creed.
Okay.
A leather-clad long-haired, seductress, Scott Stapp-led, I guess rock and roll if you want to call it, Creed. So, you know, everyone's favorite band from about, 1999 to 2004. When dreaming...
I guess you have to type in Creed the band. You know?
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, God.
Look at that, baby.
Schmexy.
Look at that. So every once in a while, this group will have a post in it that says, I came here for Creed the band, and it's nothing but office memes. And then they'll leave the group, and you'll see a bunch of tags to the page. This isn't an airport. You don't need to announce your departure. That kind of stuff. Enter our hero. Someone named Matthew. I won't give the last name.
Is his last name out there, though?
It's out there. If you're in the group, it's out there. It is what it is. He's making
the damage
a podcast.
Is done.
It's done. Damage is done. But Matthew posts to the group, can someone please ban me from this page? I have tried to mute the group and block the group, and I'm still getting notifications. I don't even watch The Office. So Matthew, I believe, came for Creed. Accidentally got Creed.
Creed the band and got Creed the office guy.
Yep.
The office old man.
And
frustrated.
Despite his best efforts, he couldn't get the notifications to go away. So he asked the admins.
I feel that way sometimes.
He put in the post to ask the admins to ban him. And now, if you know anything about the internet, you know people who like to shitpost love a good troll.
Mm-hmm.
So Creed Thoughts quickly became Matthew Thoughts for the better part of a week, where all the Office memes got re-edited to be jokes about Matthew wanting to get kicked out. So if anyone got fired in a meme, boom, it was about Matthew. If anyone went away, you know, like Toby,
yeah,
you know, Matthew's going away. Goodbye, Matthew.
I feel like that the kind of people, like the kind of fans that do this Office thing and go to this thing, like, I see those kind of people doing this kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It seems like a very these kind of people thing to do.
Yes.
Make these memes about this specific guy and be funny about that little particular thing. It seems like almost it would be an Office joke, you know? It would like fit within the show.
Yes.
That kind of humor.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of funny.
As
they're so obsessed with it, they're actually, subconsciously, they're making their own Office kind of joke, you know?
Yeah, Office content. As someone who made several memes and posts related to the event, I can confirm this. And the plot continues as eventually the group would get split. There would be basically the people who were
Creed split up.
Creed Thoughts
no, I'm
was
joking.
was fighting amongst itself, much like Scott Stapp when the rest of the band went on to be an Alter Bridge. I think that's... I don't know.
Is that?
Don't fact check me on that.
Wait. I want to fact check, actually.
Well, you look it up while I tell the story, because it's not pertinent to anything.
Okay.
So, half the group is making shameless Matthew posts, and the other half is posting in the group. These Matthew posts are getting annoying. This group used to be about The Office. I'm leaving, and all this stuff. And people are just getting either upset or very happy. Did you get it? Let's go.
You know your Creed facts.
I know my Creed
Whether
thoughts.
it comes to The Office or the band, you know your Creed facts.
Creed expert.
Anyways,
and so eventually it got to a point where, and this, I would say, I want to say that I do not condone this behavior. We should not be result driven. And although it worked out in this case, I still don't think you should reach out to people directly in this situation. But what happened was, a lot of the people in this group reached out to Matthew, sent him private messages on Facebook saying, like, you should really watch The Office, and hey, by the way, I don't know if you know it, but you're a meme. You're like a legend in the Office community now because people have been making memes about you for days. And then the new members keep coming into the group. That was the third faction. new members keep coming in saying, "What is all this Matthew?"
Yeah, who the
stuff?
fuck is Matthew?
I'm a fan of The Office. I thought this would be an Office, and all the posts are just about Matthew. What the fuck is going on?
Which is even more so, it's in that same kind. It just seems like it's breeding the same kind of humor.
It's what I love about
It's hilarious
because groups on their own. It's season-based content. Like there's a meta, there's a joke, and then you beat it into the ground. You ride it out, and then the new joke comes in, and then there's random callbacks.
But you know what I'm saying? Like as part of the joke, almost, it's funny that new people would come and be like, who the fuck is Matthew? Like it's a joke. That is a meme in itself. That's even happening.
Yeah, and then the comments would be people like me replying with a random Creed quote that had nothing to do with the real Matthew thing.
Right.
But it fit the meta of The Office. So, for instance, someone's posted in the group, "Who is Matthew?" And I responded, "He got decapitated. It was a whole thing. We had a funeral for a bird." Which, if you're an Office fan, you started laughing just now because you know that that's something that Creed once said in an episode when someone asked him who the new guy was, or, who's this person, and he answered with that. So so people were just responding to these posts with quotes from The Office like that, and just building the legend of Matthew until one day someone posts a screenshot of their DMs with Matthew, and it said, "Hey, can someone please reach out to an admin and have me unbanned from the group? I'd like to come back. I've been all this support. I've been seeing. I have a friend who's in the group and seeing all these memes, and I think I'd like to come back." So Matthew gets unbanned, and it continues. Now I should tell all of you this, that all of this happened about 8 or 9 days ago was when this began. So as we approach the end of the story, know that all of this happened over about the course of a week. And so Matthew comes back, and he continues to be just meme-worthy, although now he's interacting with the crowd. So now there's a ton of people. It's getting even worse. They're posting if Matthew comments on their post. They're taking a screenshot of that and then reposting it to the group saying, "Matthew, talk to me. Oh, my God." It's as if an actor from the show is actively in our group right now. And it's a guy who's never even seen the show at this point. Until it gets to the point where an announcement comes that Matthew has started a podcast with a few administrators from the Creed Thoughts group. The first episode actually went live earlier today, by the way. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. We talked about this throughout the week. This was an ongoing story. And the very first episode of It Is a Podcast
That's what it's called?
Yes. Yep. It is called It Is a Podcast. An episode about a memed person who had never watched The Office is apparently live on Spotify.
It's a hard podcast to search considering the name. It is a podcast.
Yes, that might be a good way
Would
to
that
look
help?
for it. So while you look for it, I suggest that this is one of the best clout routes that I have ever seen. This guy is selling merch. People are making Office jokes that reference Matthew, and they're selling merch in the group. There is an episode of The Office that is talking about a fun run, a rabies cure fun run. And people have made shirts that quote the ridiculously long phrasing that's on that 5K and replaced it with, it's like the Matthew whatever joke, leaving the group, whatever. They're selling merch is the point. I don't remember the actual joke, but that's not the point. The point is they're making money off of this. And now this guy has a podcast and a built-in audience of 20,000 or so.
I actually can't find it. But you'll figure it out. If you want to go listen to it, go listen to it. That's kind of hilarious if you do. No, and I mean, like, that goes to show you, too, that it's just infinite content there. Like, The Office it's been done for, oh, God. I don't want alerts right now, especially that are eyeballs in this corner of my screen.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Oh, God, that totally threw me off, distracted me.
There's endless content.
Oh, The Office, yeah. The Office just has endless content. It's been over forever. I don't even know when did The Office end, and we're talking about it in 2022.
Also, I'm gonna DM
2013, so almost 10 years. Almost 10 years
since an episode.
Since the last episode of The Office, and people are still talking about it. I mean, shit. It says that The Office UK was 2003.
I just sent you.
So
the
that's
link
like
to
20
the
years
podcast,
ago.
By the way.
Oh, okay. Where did you send it to me?
On Twitter. I DM'd it to you.
Twitter.
Slid into them DMs.
Oh, look at my first DM.
Sucker.
Oh, is that a butt crack?
No, that's because it's.
There it
The
is.
joke. It is a podcast. It's an Office joke from a birthday. It is your birthday. Now, I have heard. I haven't listened to it yet, but I hear that there are some really bad audio issues on this first one. So, I guess bear with them as they get their bearings. But, crazy.
Interesting.
We will see. I'm sure there will be some other clout-worthy chases that may. This may not be a finalist when it's all said and done.
Right.
When we do the first.
But I do think it's a valiant
We're gonna
effort.
call them the Rowdies. What are we gonna call those?
The Rowdies. We'll have to workshop that. I'm not sure.
We gotta figure it
The
out.
Cloudies. The Rowdy.
We gotta start
Cloudies.
getting some nominees in place.
Yes.
So
We'll fill out the board. This is number one. This
a
is the
new
first one.
challenger approaches.
Well, so interesting. Yeah, I mean, the deep and forever well that is fucking The Office, I guess. Never ending content. Good for them.